Oh, we want to welcome everyone here to the Aquaba Hall. Aquaba means welcome in Kiswahili. We're located here in St. Louis, 4101 West Florissant. So on the corner of West Florissant and Alice, and we have people steady coming in. And if you are in the city of St. Louis, please stop by, and we'll be here until 5 o'clock. The Sunday rallies, they are brought to you by the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement. The institution was formed in 1991 with bread, peace, and black power as a mantra, and we want to bring that to you in our lifetime. Today, we're going to continue some discussion of what has been happening and what has not been happening. We also have some recognition for some work that has been going on within the Uhuru community, most notably with the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, who's been working on a fantastic summer program project here in the city of St. Louis. So we'll hear a little bit from that. Yeah, give it up for that work, Uhuru. And we're going to see what in a material way has been done so far with that. Like I said, once again, we also are going to continue to fight back and highlight some of the contradictions that we see that the city of St. Louis is presented itself and presented the people with no relief, no funds, no money, no checks in the hand. We also talk a little bit about one of their recent town hall meetings that may have wrapped up this past month, and hear from those who have been in attendance to that. But before we go further with the program, we're going to ask everyone to please stand. And to my right on the screen, you'll see the African Nation fight song. And for those of you who are online, you can join in. And those who are in Quabbin Hall in attendance, please do stand and join us as we sing the African Nation fight song. Uhuru.
Shout Uhuru for our freedom. We are ready. We'll dance and sing songs when revolution's won. We are ready. Africa's best daughters and sons. We are ready. Long live the liberation of our African nation. Freedom through organization. Socialist world of creation. 1 billion strong, yes, we are one. We are ready. Red, black, and green for you and me. We are ready. Won't stop the fight till we are free. We are ready. African workers Patrice Lumumba's life won't be in vain. We are winning. Keep up the work in Marcus Garvey's name. We are winning. Independent and free is what we will be. We are winning. Africa will bask in our victory. We are winning. Long live the liberation of our African nation. Freedom to organization. Socialist world, our creation. 1 billion strong, yes, we are one. We are
Oh, fist up, one Africa, one nation. Uhuru, that's what it's about. And today's folk theme is City Hall stalls. We escalate, delays equals theft. Reparations now. So we all know that the colonizers just flat out owe reparations to all colonized people, and particularly African people. And we'll deal with that a little bit more inside of the program. Right now, we're going to move to our political education. The political education is taken from the 14-point working platform of the African People's Socialist Party. This week, the point that we're focusing on is point 6. You'll see these points every week inside of a copy of the Burning Spirit newspaper. And you can visit online, APSP, Uhuru.org, and you can also follow it there. So point 6, we want the immediate and unconditional release of all Black people who are presently locked down in U.S. prisons. We believe that all the African men and women who are locked down in the U.S. concentration camps, commonly known as prisons, are there due to decisions, laws, and circumstances which were created by aliens and foreigners for their own benefit and as a means of genocidal colonialist control. We believe that these decisions, laws, and circumstances were created and are enforced without our consent and are therefore illegitimate. We believe that the African men and women who are locked down in these concentration camps are victims of U.S. colonialist ruling class. Justice, the colonizers' ruling class justice, which maintains our enslavement and terrorizes our people, and that they should therefore be released immediately to the just representatives of our struggle for liberation, independence, and socialist democracy. Uhuru. Want to appreciate the build up to the 6-point. And the 6-point platform basically is talking about, we know that the colonizer put the jail systems in place. We know that the police have evolved from what was known as the overseer, or those who were chasing Africans during the institution of slavery. They're just involved into a police system. So we know from the very beginning, its roots are in the oppression of African people and all colonized people. So therefore, logically, it means that these concentration camps, as we call them, need to be destroyed. And we know that they are concentration camps because we can see the conditions with all the reports coming from the various institutions of this world who talks about the conditions of prisoners, and even the prisoners talking about the conditions themselves as they are able to communicate that with letters, etc., cell phones, however they get the communication out, even when their family members come to visit. So we know that is true. And so we know that the prison complex is a profit seeking institution. And we know that most of the prisons, the maximum secure prison systems, these buildings are generally located in rural areas. And they develop those rural economies, and they profit very greatly from that. And those communities benefit one way or the other at the expense of African people. Once again, looking at this whole concept of who's standing on the pedestal that benefits from the African labor, and African exploitations. So you want to highlight some questions and ask some questions of the audience to get a little participation. And those of you online, you can also key in as well. You might put it in the chat, and if you put it in there quick enough, we can read it, then we can recognize that. So the first question is, U.S. prisons are packed with African people. Your choices are A, were created due to decisions and laws of aliens and foreigners. B, are a means of genocidal colonial control. C, are concentration camps, or D, all of the above.
Your screen is reading something different.
Okay, his screen is reading something different. But inside the room, who knows the answer? Or who has the idea what it was? Once again, the U.S. prisons that are packed with African people, your choices, once again, were created due to decisions and laws of aliens and foreigners. B, are a means of genocidal colonial control, or C, are concentration camps, or D, all of the above. All of the above. So pardon the technical difficulties there. Number 2, all African men and women in prisons, A, should be released immediately to representatives of our movement for liberation, should be given parole, should get more visitors, should get better food. A. They should all be released, right? And then you can get everything. You can get all the food and the visitors that you want in your own living space. Not theirs. So, okay. So some main ideas, I'm gonna just go back right quick. So because we got more people coming in. So some of the main ideas of point 6 is that we want the immediate release of African people from the prison systems. We already highlighted that it's unjust and they are benefiting off the back of our labor. The African people are in prison because of genocidal colonialism with its laws which benefit the colonized. And we know that the laws of the ruling class simply benefits them, and they are in place for themselves to protect their own interests at the expense of the colonized African people, Latino people, indigenous people, etc. All colonized people don't benefit from the laws of the colonizer. Another main idea to be drawn from this that we want to make sure that is very clear is that when we talk about the demand to release them, that's exactly what we mean. And when prisoners are released from the prison system, they need somewhere to go. We probably won't talk about this a lot in this meeting, but with the independent workforce program that's under the Black Power Blueprint, we've answered that question. So up the street here from where we are, when prisoners are coming out, the Uhuru movement has already established a living facility for them. It's a 4-plex, can house 4 family, 2 upstairs and 2 downstairs. So on that point and level, we know that when they are released, they will have somewhere to go, Uhuru, and they'll have somewhere to go that is under the leadership of the African working class. And it is serving their interests and not the interests of the colonizer, if you will. Okay. So there's no more discussions or questions around those points. We're going to move the agenda forward a little bit. So as we said earlier, we want to recognize that the Uhuru Solidarity Movement has had a project going on, the project that they have been working on, the summer project for this past month in the city of St. Louis, has been doing some great things. Just last week on the 8th, the 9th, there was a concert and there was a benefit. This was held by the Reparations Project, And it was a great project. It was a great benefit. People came out, movement members, they performed, they either did poetry, they drummed, etc. And the funds were raised and to bring those funds back to the African community to help to continue to develop our own economic independent programs that we have, such as the One Africa, One Nation market that we know. And also we talked about the independent workforce program, the apartment that's down the street, all the work that we've been doing in the community under the leadership of the African People Education and Defense Fund with Deputy Chair Ona Yesatella leading that, has just been delivering on the ground in a real material way each and every day. And so even this building that we are in, which is Aquaba Hall, that means welcome, that was done under the leadership. And we've talked about it in the past. This building was just totally wrecked. And nothing looked like, floor wasn't no floor over there. You had a plank over here that you could walk on. This was dripping and falling. Just the walkway up there, cracking and falling. Everything was totally mess. But with the leadership of Deputy Chair and the vision of the chairman and seeing things through, it was transformed to what we used to call the house that Black built. And it still is the house that Black built. And that's just one example. This is just one living example of the power of the Uhuru movement and what can be done under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party. So we're going to bring the chair of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, Jesse Neville, up, and he's going to give us a recap of some of the work that the Summer Project has done, highlights of some of the work that came from the benefit, and in terms of that, and also moving forward. Unity through Uhuru. Comrade Jesse Neville.
Uhuru. Uhuru, thank you, and salute to the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement. Thank you, Comrade Kumba. Good round of applause. So it's an honor to be here once again at the Uhuru House here in Aquaba Hall. And I am Jesse Neville. I represent the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, the mass organization of white people, as was said, working under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party and tasked with going into the white community to organize other white people to stand in solidarity with African self-determination and the fight for reparations to African people. And I want to salute our leadership, without whose leadership we would not be here. We would not be able to even have this discussion as white people, which is Chairman Omala Yeshitela, the founder and leader of the Uhuru movement, and Deputy Chair Ona Zane Yeshitela. Uhuru. And I also want to salute the chairwoman of the African People's Solidarity Committee, Chairwoman Penny Hess. Uhuru. And just appreciate Chairwoman Penny for being such a key part of the Reparations Summer project that we are wrapping up tonight. It's been an amazing week this past week. It's been an incredible honor to be a part of this. And I wanted to just quickly thank the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement and the African community of North St. Louis. The fight back against this city government, against colonialism, was and is the context in which the Reparations Summer project took place this year. So it was so important for comrades to be able to come into St. Louis, to be on the front lines in the middle of this very serious battle that the African community is courageously taking on against the attempt by this city government to use this tornado devastation as an excuse, an opportunity to finish the land grab that they were already attempting to carry out, and which they have already carried out over and over and over again in so many African communities throughout this city. So I just wanted to quickly sum up the summer project over this past week and bring up some of our comrades, and I'm going to shout out everybody in just a minute, but bring up some of our comrades who've been here from out of town for the whole week, who were able to experience the Uhuru movement, to experience the brilliance of the African liberation movement right here in the city of St. Louis. So as we've discussed the Uhuru Solidarity Movement and the African People's Solidarity Committee, our work is to win white people to stand with the struggle against colonialism, based on the understanding, as Chairman Omali Shatella has said, that the struggle is not, the African people are not struggling against racism, the ideas in the minds of white people, but for power over their own lives and to destroy the colonial system that racism was created to justify, the system of the theft of resources and labor from African people to enrich the white population who sit on the pedestal of the oppression of African people and who have enthusiastically participated throughout our history in lynching, terrorizing, pillaging, enslaving, stealing the resources of African people in order to gain a higher place on the pedestal of genocide and colonialism. And the Uhuru Solidarity Movement has the responsibility to win white people to say, we don't want to be complicit with this system any longer. We want to turn our backs on our own ruling class and see our true future and our true interests as one with the African working class and the oppressed and colonized peoples of the world. And we can't get there just by saying that and saying, okay, well, we're all together and we're just be able to be part of the human family, because we have terrorized the human family. We've stood apart from the human family for hundreds of years. But we can enter the human family through taking responsibility for that history and working to rectify it, working to change our relationship to African people and the oppressed peoples of the world from one of oppressor to one of solidarity under the leadership of the African working class. That is the key principle of unity of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, is that this struggle is led by the African working class. It always has been. And the challenge has not been that whether or not that is true. The challenge has been whether or not white people have been willing to accept the leadership of the African working class and do our part in a principled way to build solidarity with the African Revolution. So that is why APSC and the Uhuru Solidarity Movement were created. And this past week, I want to say, first of all, we started off the summer project right here at the Sunday rally last Sunday. So that was a very appropriate start because this is ground zero. This is the center of the struggle here in the North Side. So it was a great honor to be able to be here and start the summer project here in the Uhuru House. And then over the week, we had studies at the Uhuru Solidarity Center presented by Chairwoman Penny Hess on the chairman's theory of African internationalism, the understanding of the colonial mode of production. We had a presentation by the director of Agitprop, Akile Anai, on that same question. We had drops, which is something the Uhuru movement has done for many years, going out into our neighborhoods in the white community. We dropped 2,500 club cards to promote the benefit that was held on July 9th. We also had the honor to participate in work days coordinated by the Black Power Blueprint here on the North Side, to participate not as a stand of charity, but as a stand of solidarity with African people rebuilding the North Side, as the Uhuru movement says, not to get it back to the way it was before the tornado, which was already a state of devastation caused by centuries of city policy, of colonial policy that no tornado could ever compare to, but to get to a place of genuine prosperity and self-reliance and self-determination. And we were called upon to volunteer on different projects in the community that involved painting, that involved the garden, that involved removing debris, and all other kinds of work that comrades were able to jump into and be a part of. We also had the benefit that was mentioned. And again, the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement was a huge part of that benefit. We had several artists, performers, and presenters from InPDUM who were there. And I want to salute Fofit Al-Kibalan in the back there, Uhuru to Comrade Fofit, who wielded her legendary status in the poetry community here in St. Louis to bring out basically our entire lineup of poets that night. And I also want to appreciate Kumba here behind me, who was there and delivered some incredible revolutionary poetry as well, along with Gregory Reed, who I think I saw in here a moment ago. Oh, there he is. Yes. And Westbrook and so many others who participated in that powerful benefit, which did, thanks to the support of the community, raised $17,000 for the work of the Black Power movement. We also had the opportunity to go to the old courthouse in downtown St. Louis, which just reopened after being closed for 5 years since COVID started. And they have put a museum in there to tell the story of Dred and Harriet Scott and all of the African people who filed freedom suits at that court in their struggle for liberation. And it was preceded by a very enlightening overview on the real history of St. Louis that Chairwoman Penny presented, bringing out the history of colonial terror and assaults on the African community that are matched by the resistance, the courageous, unrelenting resistance and fight of the African community here in this city. That is the history of St. Louis, not the Arch. The Arch is a symbol of genocide. We also went to the Arch to see that and to learn the true history of that. The real symbol of this city is the Uhuru House, is the African revolution here on the north side. And so we were able to learn more about that history and to see the courthouse where on the steps of that courthouse, enslaved African people were sold. On the steps of the courthouse, which I think says everything white people need to understand that the chairman teaches us about colonial law. Enslaved African people were sold on the steps of the courthouse of the city. And that is, of course, where the historic fight for Dred and Harriet Scott began when they filed their suit. So we were able to visit that and to see that and to have our comrades experience that. We also had a branch building training, and we formed 2 branches of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, one in St. Petersburg, Florida, and one in Oakland, California. Uhuru. And now, you know, it's again fitting that we are here towards the end of the summer project, back in the Uhuru House, back in the headquarters to be a part of this incredible rally. And before I bring up some of our comrades, just to share some impressions, summations of how they've experienced this week, I do want to let people know that right after this Sunday rally at 6 o'clock tonight is the final event of the summer project. We do have flyers here, and this is going to be held at Dunaway Books at 3111 South Grand Boulevard. And this is a book reading with Chairwoman Penny Hess on the book Overturning the Culture of Violence, the book that lays out, using African internationalism, the history of white violence against African people going back hundreds of years, but also shows the way forward for white people under the leadership of the African Liberation Movement. So this powerful book was published 25 years ago. And in honor of the 25th anniversary, we are having this event tonight at Dunaway Books. So yes, Uhuru. Thank you. So I just want to say that we have comrades in the room who joined us, of course, here in St. Louis that were part of the summer project, as well as Oakland, San Francisco, Columbus, and also want to shout out Janice Kant, who was here working on a lot of other really important projects from St. Petersburg, Florida, who also played a role in certain parts of the summer project as well. So want to appreciate Comrade Janice. And I wanted to ask comrades Indigo and Dylan, who came in from Columbus, and Kara, who came in from Oakland, just amazing comrades that were there for the entire summer project and also coordinated many different aspects of it. Kara coordinated the food for the summer project. Indigo coordinated the audio visual and all that. And Dylan coordinated, you know, a lot of logistics for the benefit and a lot of the other aspects of the summer project. So I want to bring those comrades up to join me and just say a few words about your experiences of the summer project. Uhuru.
Well, first I just want to say that it's a tremendous honor to be here, at Quabbah Hall at the Uhuru House right now. The summer project has been extremely powerful. I think it really brought immense clarity to the necessity for the African working class to lead the struggle, against oppression and for liberation. We really studied and had, many great events, conversations about really the necessity for African working class state power. And I think the Black Power Blueprint really serves, that trajectory. It's incredible. It's really amazing to witness firsthand. And I think the tour we went on of the Black Power Blueprint, was really moving, very emotional experience just for me. And we recorded it all online for people to see as well. Again, I'm very grateful for the leadership that the African People's Socialist Party provides. And I think that this will be a really powerful year of reparations for the Solidarity Movement. So I'm looking forward to continuing that work and returning here probably within about 2 months. So thank you so much. Uhuru.
Uhuru, everyone. I want to salute everyone who took a part in this summer project and made it a reality. I've grown as an organizer, and I feel that it's super important to recognize white North American and Europeans' responsibility, their responsibility, our responsibility to recognize what it means, or to recognize what the material reality is, and that is colonialism. That is a oppressive dynamic that needs overturned, and through reparations and through unity, we can organize a brighter future for all people. Uhuru.
Uhuru, it's been such an honor to be part of this this summer project and under the leadership of the African working class. And we did so much in 1 week that we engaged in political action and reparations in action, and and it was just amazing to be in the town hall and be a part of that, watching the community come together and unite and demand for their resources. And also the brilliance of the African People's Socialist Party to create Uhuru Solidarity Movement, and for us to be able to be in solidarity and pay reparations and taking on that responsibility as white people under living as oppressors and colonizers, and that we get to spread the brilliance of African internationalism. And so just so appreciative, a salute to everyone involved, Jesse, Chairwoman Penny, Chair Jesse, Maureen for Uhuru Foods and Pies and Ali, and Kitty, and all the people that involved in just Uhuru, African people will be free. Uhuru.
Thank you, comrades. And yeah, I was looking down at my notes, and when they were speaking, I realized I don't think I mentioned that town hall, and that was such an important part of the summer project. I just want to appreciate the Office of Deputy Chair Onan Zanea Shatella and InPDUM and the Uhuru Movement for and the Northside Independent Neighborhood Association and its president, Sayale Moyende, aka Christopher Gladney, for your powerful leadership. And that presence at the town hall was powerful, both of the movement and the people who were indistinguishable in many ways, speaking in one voice. And the immediate impact that it had, even changing the discussion in this city, where you have the president of the Board of Aldermen sending out a newsletter to her constituents, quoting extensively from the president of NINA as a spokesperson for the people. So it was an honor to be there. We stand in solidarity with the African community here, the struggle for self-determination, the struggle for reparations, the struggle for a world where no human being is oppressed. Uhuru. Unity third. Fist up. Fist up. One Africa. One nation. That's what it's about. Thank you. I appreciate that again. Uhuru Solidarity Movement. I mean, and this is a very important movement in the Uhuru movement, because, like the chairman has talked about, the question of what to do with white people. I mean, that was answered. We know that just a little bit of history, we're going to get to the other thing, but that most recently, I think it was the chairwoman Penny Hess, she led a discussion on the Vine paper that came out of SNCC in the 60s. So the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee had initially said that there needs to be some way that European white people can be involved into the African and Black power or the liberation of the struggle for African people. And it has to be in a real way. At that time, it was put out there as a theory, it wasn't worked out. It didn't have a program and it didn't have any meat on it. But the chairman got a hold to it. Of course, he was a member of it then, and years later was able to put some meat onto it and make it real in a tangible way and take it out of the realm of just theory and put it into practice. So we got to support that leadership on that, because it is very fruit.
and bearing fruit that we see each and every day. So, it's 2 months, 57 days since the tornado has came through, but it's been a lifetime and centuries since the African people have faced the conditions that they faced in the city of St. Louis. So throughout this particular period, in the aftermath of the tornado, there have been a series of town hall meetings, and most recently there was a town hall meeting on the 8th of July. It was up the street here. It was held in the church, and it was another attempt to do some campaigning from the mayor's side of the situation and the question. But like Jesse said, it was indistinguishable. The African community spoke with one voice without being in one organization. And that's very powerful, because we can see that the African working class has that working class intelligentsia thing going on, or where they know what's happening on the ground, because it's right there in your face. You don't need any books for that. You understand? You don't need to do no research. You don't need to go to the Library of Congress to see what the city of St. Louis has done to your community throughout the years. It's quite clear, and it's in your face. And as a result of the tornado, it just compounded that effort. The community already know that. One of the reoccurring themes that you'll see out of all these town hall meetings is, once again, the political maturity of the African community. Because from the very beginning of the meeting, one of the things they always brought up was the Team 4 plan. Always brought up the Team 4 plan, not even in our movement. But the people taught the movement about the Team 4 plan. So we got to give it up to the people of the city of St. Louis for their political education, and teaching the people, and teaching the party, and teaching the people in this movement about what is happening in the city of St. Louis. So it becomes a question of, or it becomes a thing from the people to the party, to the party to the people. So it's a cycle. You understand? So we learn from each other. So that's the beauty of the city of St. Louis, and there's so much rich history here that we can't really get into. But funny thing about it, some people say that it could be debated. Some people say that the first civil rights struggle occurred in St. Louis in 1819. It might be the case, but we shall see, and we can look at that. But once again, this is also like a town hall meeting. This isn't that we want to talk to you. We want the people to talk to us. We want to get that information from the people. And we know that we have some people who have been in attendance to some of these town hall meetings, and they have had their voice known, and they have shared their voice and their opinions. And whether the crocodile crying Carr Smith is true for it, she heard a lot of things. She said, yeah, I'm gonna get you that. I'm gonna do this for you. That's a good idea. But in this last meeting, people said the same thing, and she ain't did jack for the people. So a couple of meetings ago, she said some things that it ain't taken out of context, but she did say that I don't have no plan for you. And then she also referred to us as you people, but she tried to clean that up. Some people might not have caught that. That was in the press conference that she did. Not press conference. That was at a town hall at Union Tabernacle on June the 30th. And she also said, look at all these little black boys up here. So, she got some splaining to do, but we're gonna make her accountable one way or the other. And so the victory also of the Uhuru movement is being on the front line and being out there. And even most recently, the president of the board of aldermen, Megan Green, puts out a newsletter. And most recently, her newsletter highlighted some things that Christopher Gladney said. So Christopher Gladney was quoted for saying, what he said inside of the town hall meeting. And even Megan Green, being with the Green Party, whatever, being some kind of liberal or something of that nature, she had to unite with that statement and had to put it out there. But I don't know if she knew what she was doing, but what she was doing, she was putting the Uhuru movement out. She was showing that the Uhuru movement is on the front line of these struggles, and you got to give recognition to that, because it ain't just that we bragging and patting ourselves on the back, it's just that we deliver. And the Uhuru movement has been delivering, and that's something that none of them can say that's not the truth, not the case. They have to all recognize that. So let's get some more discussion going, and let's get some audience participation. I want to hear from some of the people who have been at these meetings, and that was at the last meeting most recently. And let's get some takeaways, because we want to be able to do some work with this thing. And I know I don't mean to point you out, but you seem new to me. Have you been at the town hall meetings most recently, my sister? All on except for the first one. Well, now, that sister, who is that sister?
Tina,
Tina. Look, Tina,
come on, Tina.
come on. So Tina, I think if didn't you call the mayor out basically not good enough, and then you give her a grade of basically an F.
Well, the first grade I gave her was mediocre,
Yeah, mediocre.
and then she went from mediocre to poor.
Okay.
So, a little bit about me, I am Timmy Crater, I am in the 13th ward, right up West Florissant. Do I need to go up there? Or do
There
I?
you go.
You can say right there.
I'm in the 13th ward, right up West Florissant. I was born and raised in St. Louis City. On the west side of St. Louis on Enright and.
Let's go.
Okay. On Enright, Clarendon, it's in between Kings Highway and Hill.
Academy neighborhood.
Absolutely. I stayed on the north side. I purchased a home on the north side. I will continue to be on the north side because that's where I belong.
Okay.
Could have purchased a home anywhere, but St. Louis City is my home. We have to make her uncomfortable. Because her media training says that she can say, I empathize with you, I sympathize with you, but it's to just quell you while they do nothing.
Yes. Right.
If you go around the corner, I was affected by it, so look about how I was affected by the tornado. While my house is in the 13th ward of West Florissant, that house was not affected by the tornado, it was affected by a fire. So I was displaced out of that home and was in a home right here around the corner on Fair and Far. That Monday I had surgery on my right hand. So I had one hand and then I was going through a tornado. What upset me the most was as we was going through that tornado, brick fell, my roof came off. It severed my main gas line. So gas is spewing out the side of my house. We're trying to evacuate the street. I called 911. 911 said, you're on your own. It's emergency everywhere.
What?
They did. We had spotty cell service, so we could get out sometimes we couldn't. 911 stopped answering call. We were trying to pull people out of their homes to evacuate from gas leaks. There were roofs down on porches, there were trees blocking both ends of the street lights down everywhere. Nobody showed up. It took Spire 45 minutes to come figure out how they could turn off that gas at my house to stop it from spewing. So 45 minutes gas from the main gas line spewed in the street. The only department from the city that showed up was the St. Louis Sheriff's Department. And if anybody has heard me speak, they have always heard me mention the Sheriff's Department for two main reasons, because they were the first people from the city of St. Louis to show up. And they showed up almost immediately. I don't know where they came from, how they knew where to come, but they just showed up. And they started helping people get direction, they helped get older people cooled off. They helped get people out of their buildings. They made sure that we had water initially. They even after the initial part of the tornado, they continued to make sure that our neighborhoods were okay when we hadn't seen not one police officer, not one fire department, not one EMS. And at this time, Mayor Spencer had on a cute pair of boots and a nice little coat, and she was pointing in the direction of where to send water. That pissed me off. Because here I am in my night clothes trying to recover from a surgery, and I'm helping pull people against doctor's orders out of their homes. Yet the mayor will refuse to acknowledge the sheriff's department at all when it comes to some of the first responders. The mayor wants to take credit for what the Uhuru House has done, what the People's Movement has done, what I'm missing an organization that's out there from day one. And it's my head, it's not my heart. But immediately people came out all colors, creeds, and they just started picking stuff up, moving stuff around, feeding people, making sure people had water, making sure people had cooling stations. And the mayor wants to take credit when
Yep.
still she
Yep.
did not show up.
Absolutely.
And has continued to not show up.
Yeah.
And also, please pay attention, at these town halls, they're always in rooms that are too small for the need.
Mhm.
That church was too small.
Yeah.
The community center was too small.
Mhm.
They don't want to hear our voices. And what I told the mayor was, not only did you go for me to go for the poor, but if you're not gonna give us a plan, we're gonna give you the plan.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
P4 has been since the 70s the rule for St. Louis. And they have slowly moved across this city to make that plan happen.
Absolutely.
The mayor mentioned something that not many people paid attention to but need to. And this was in the one that was at Herbert Hoover. She said that Clayco went and removed things for free out of the kindness of their heart. And I'm here to tell you that's a lie. They're surveying our land to know what they can snatch quickly
Yeah.
and what they have to take their time to snatch. Clayco will never do anything for free. And Clayco is also being funneled all of the volunteer construction workers through the United Way. So that they'll get those credit for those volunteer hours. What does that mean? They get paid back in taxes and they get FEMA money.
Mhm.
She won't talk about that.
Mhm.
Megan Green talked about it briefly at one of the town hall meetings at the community center on the west side, that all of the volunteer hours that took place for this tornado will count towards FEMA hours, because you have to meet a certain amount for FEMA to kick in for the public service. So they're using smaller organizations that they haven't helped in order to meet their need, and they haven't met ours. We
Right.
can't stand for it.
Mhm.
We also have to be aware that this mayor is a flat out liar. She's bought and she's passed.
Yeah.
And there are people who have been at these meetings who are out there for themselves. They have went against what the people want because they have their own agendas at mind. But at the end of the day, these are our neighborhoods. They have taken the south side where African people have been and they have changed. We have one major grocery store on the north and west side of St. Louis, and that is the Schnucks at Union and Natural Breed. We have 0 pharmacies left. We have 0 department stores, 0 hardware stores. So in order for my dollars to count, they go into somebody else's neighborhood. The development of somebody else's jobs.
Right.
When we don't have our own. And I also told Kara Spence at that meeting that we want those jobs. We want those stores, and we want them to be accessible in our neighborhoods. I work for General Motors. I drive 40 minutes to General Motors every time I go to work. General Motors, for those who don't know about the north side of St. Louis, used to be right there at Union and Natural.
Yep.
They made the car one of the most profitable cars across General Motors since its inception.
Yeah.
They moved General Motors from the heart of the city
Yeah.
to Winsfield to
Right.
keep our access from being able to walk
That's what they
to a job that can provide for a family.
Yeah.
My ask as a community is that we come together and that we demand that we have these accessible, and the only way a community is going to thrive is to have those needs met. If we do not have the jobs, poverty will dictate
Yes.
the fight.
Yes. Yes.
We can't stop the violence until we stabilize the community.
What you said, Pete?
And it doesn't matter if it's inner city, trailer parks, wherever you are, the violence comes because of the lack of access.
There it is.
Yeah.
So we
There it is.
need to be the center of developing,
Yeah.
enacting,
Mhm.
building, and successfully run
Yeah.
the north and west side of St. Louis
Yeah.
the way we see that it needs to be run.
Yeah.
So that's an example of fist up. That's what, go ahead, yeah, go ahead.
Are you a member of InPDUM?
But I can be.
Take this information because what you don't know can hurt you.
Absolutely.
And we need to know everything that these suckers are trying to do to destabilize and further kill off the north side. So I really appreciate you coming up and speaking it out.
Thank you.
Right on.
Right on. And if you like, you can come to the podium or you can come up to the microphone.
I wanna, appreciate the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. I know it's the last day, but it's been a powerful week. I thought the benefit was absolutely splendid, as the chairman would say. It was just a great time and just really appreciate all the support, the solidarity, from the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. It just really has been a fantastic week, Uhuru. I also want to appreciate Sister Tina for coming. We've met several times going to these town hall meetings, and I really want to appreciate her stance.
Yes.
She's not giving up, she's not fighting, and we're gonna bring her and everybody else like her out to these town hall meetings, continue, like she said, to put pressure on this mayor. It is just deplorable that she takes no responsibility, and then she continues to explain it away by saying, we've got these millions of dollars but soon we'll let you have just a little bit. And what we know that does, it builds the people up for a second, because once again, people came to this town hall meeting expecting that somebody was gonna say, go over there to that table and get your check so that you can get, start to repair your life. If you look up and down Redbud, Newstead, Ashland, all of these streets, everything that was devastated by the tornado, you will see that nothing is happening. Call the CBC to get the trash picked up, get the debris. They told people to move stuff out to the corner, move it out to the street, and we'll come and pick it up. So why do I have to call now to say, come and pick up the stuff that you told me to already put out on the curb? And you can see it's been in 3 days, it'll be 60 days since the tornado, and there has been no meaningful response from this city other than to say something's gonna happen and it's gonna happen soon. It's gonna take a long time, gonna take time to repair. You know, we know that it's not enough. Well, if you know that it's not enough, do more. I mean, I totally wholehearted, the unite with Sister Tina's position. Mediocre was already bad, okay? But now you're at 4 and below. You see what I'm saying? So that to me says that we gotta take more action. We gotta get in her face, let her know that her and her cabinet, that this is totally and completely unacceptable. Because the same way that Tina knows what's happening, everyone else in this city, every other applicant on the north side knows what's happening too. And unfortunately, it has been a devastating, it was a devastating act. And the first thing people try to do is figure out, how do I, first of all, I gotta stay alive in order to be able to fight. That's number one. Okay, now I'm alive. I've at least been able to find a way to continue to feed myself and feed my family. Now I need to figure out how to repair. But how do I repair if I don't have any money? Okay, so then they dribble out the little its and pences. And this $3,000 that people were supposed to instantly get, if I'm renting and still have a place that I can stay in, well, hell, that money's gonna go to pay my rent. That's not, suppose I have a slumlord that's not gonna, that hasn't put a tent, he's waiting on FEMA, okay? Or maybe he's been denied what he feel is just, and he's not concerned about me. He's concerned about making sure he gets whatever dollars he gonna be able to rake off the top. So people are still then trying to figure out now, what do I do? They keep putting out these lists of agency after agency after program after program. If you read the fine print, some of them are, one of them in particular is a loan, and it requires that you sign a lien. You sign a lien, you give the city then access to your property, which means on that month that you can't pay that probably $250 that it is because the pipes broke as a result of trying to repair something for the tornado, so now you missed the payment. So that gives the city the opportunity to go in and capture your property, and they think that people don't know this. And I would effort to say, you're probably not gonna get a lot, and I think that one of the reasons why we see that people are not running to these programs is just for that reason. They've actually sat down and read the fine print on a lot of these things, and they're not willing to risk it. I'll scrape and get another job, or I'll do whatever it is I have to do, but I'm not gonna let the city take my property. And even looking around at the north side, especially those houses that were red tagged, some of those people have still not returned. They still haven't returned, and that to me says they don't know where to go. And whatever relief that they have attempted to get, and people stood up in that room time after time after time and said, I went to FEMA, but they only gave me this much. It's gonna cost me $50,000 to replace the roof in the back of my house, and all they gave me was $7,000. You know, so where does the other 30, 40 some odd $1,000, where does that come from? And the answer from FEMA, and not even the mayor misspoke and said to what did she tell you, to reapply? And it's not reapply, but appeal. Right, appeal. That's exactly what it is you're supposed to do. When FEMA sends you your award letter or whatever, they know already in a lot of instances that they haven't given you the money that you need. It's that they send it right on the thing. Let's say for example, whatever, they have all these categories, right? And if they feel that they haven't given you enough money or whatever the allotted value is, there's a little box on there already that says appeal. That already says appeal. Now, if I'm not the most computer savvy person, I've already waded through all these tons and tons and tons of things. How do I know that I'm supposed to appeal? Or that I should be appealing? And I think that this is just part of the information that we can share, you know, with people to tell them when you get that, if you see that on your acceptance or your award letter, go ahead and immediately appeal it. Because they're still sitting on money that they're not getting off of, and that's including FEMA. And it's not our job as the people to play into the plan of the city.
I also want to say too, Sister Gwen, who was at the last town hall meeting, who said right there that called time and time again for help from the city and didn't get any help. Well, anyway, yesterday, myself, and Conrad, Westbrook, went to where her house was on Newstead. And, because she said she needed a dumpster to do a cleanup, day. So that's the only thing, and she said that's the only thing that I got from the city was a dumpster.
Yeah.
You know, so we brought water, Gatorade, we brought some masks, we brought gloves. We had information that people could get, but I mean, just standing on the sidewalk in front of what used to be her house and along where there used to be other buildings. And just to see the fact that nothing changed for 2 months. And it's just so boy. And it's just crazy. But fortunately, Sister Gwen will be speaking at our block party. We had a
All right, we want to appreciate all those comments. And if, as you notice, the latest round of money that has been circulating in the news reports, it shows, it talks about the settlement from the Rams. Now it came out originally as $30 million. Now they dropped that down to $19.2 million. And pretty soon it won't be nothing but $2 million left if you leave it up to them, the way that they are doing and the way that they're putting it out there. But they didn't put it out there very honestly from the beginning, because they know that when they put out that number of $30 million, that wasn't the amount of money that people would have been able to totally access anyway. So it would have been even less than that. But now they're at least showing you the true number of what they're planning on to give you, if they're going to give it to you. And once again, it's 2 months and people ain't got the resources that they need. Are there any more, observations from these recent rounds? Town hall discussions? All right, come on.
Uhuru Conrad, I just watched how the answers from Crying Carol just was used to feed on your sympathy, or I do so understand.
She do.
And that's a good idea. You guys write that down. That's a good idea. It's just to get time past. That's it. I got to do this. I have to be in front of these people and tell them something. And that is exactly what she does. She get in front of the audience of the people that she's supposed to be working for. And she just pats you on the head and say, okay, that was good, And she always come out as the great white hope. I'm your mayor and we got this money here, but all at the same time, she don't say, we got this money for you, come get it. Right. Fill out this application, come get it. And if you can't fill it out, we got somebody to help you fill it out. But if you get a FEMA denial, she said, call back, fill it out again. I'm sorry, she is this tall and full of bull.
How tall is she? 4 feet? Okay, so pull up something on the screen that we wanted to show you. We want to show you some information that the representative from this particular, the 77th district, Kimberly Ann Collins, she put out this nice letter and scroll the screen, and she's showing that she's praying for you, and she want to offer you. We talked about the 19.2 million, all right, and then she said that's from the settlement, and then you see the 1.2 million. That's a part of a block grant, and this money was already here. The 1.2. The settlement money was already here too, don't get me wrong. So funds were already here in the city of St. Louis that would have been allocated. It should have been allocated to the people for all these developments. So let's just follow this here. You got a little litany of things. So you got 2.2 million for unmet needs. Okay. It's unmet. Free up the money. I ain't even got to tell you what ain't met. You know what ain't met. And then the $5 million for home repairs. Now, this is all money that's available. And this ain't even other money that we had came out with that we talked about. But just do some quick math. Some of you pretty sharp with these numbers. You got 2.5, 2.2, 5, 3. So you got 5, 10, 13, 15. See, you got about close to $20 million right there. Just about $20 million. I'm just giving a rough estimate. That's looking at that. Now they say the damage is 1.6 billion or whatever. But the numbers that it's not reflecting on, it doesn't talk about $42 million that the city's supposed to have surplus. And it's not talking about a lot of other funds that the city has. The city already has the money to match the total amount of devastation that they say that they gave the estimate of. If it was $1.6 million, $1 billion in damage, they got that money. But of course, now you don't think that they're going to get that to African people, right? So, we got to go down there and take it eventually. So, so the next step is the approval process. So this is going to take another week. This is some more time. All this is doing is telling you there's money out there for you, but each dollar that they're talking about is going to take another 10 weeks to get to it. So it says next step for the approval from the Board of Estimate and Appropriate, in which there will be a special meeting next week. So they got to have all these special meetings to let you know we got all this money here, but we still got to meet around it. The first 2 meetings that you didn't had since this thing happened, everything should have been freed. And like King always say, you need to be cutting them checks. That's what people need the money for. You need to cut the check. And it says crews will soon be removing debris. They said soon we'll be removing debris. So you mean to tell me they ain't been removing debris? So they said that not to deploy. They told the African community not to self-deploy. But hell, if we didn't do it, who was going to do it? You waiting on them to do it, and they telling you now, and she telling you again. This is a recent update now. She put this out this week. This what's her name? Collins woman. She put this out this week. All right, and she telling you still, we'll be there to get some trash a little bit later on. We'll pick it up at the place that you put it on the curb. That includes yard debris, roofing material, housing waste, and everything, with environmental inspectors separating hazardous waste like asbestos and safety disposal. That's a little bit alarming, because that last part, it talks about them removing asbestos. So how are they going to do that? Because you can't have if you got asbestos in your house, it has to be remediated in a proper way, a correct way. They have to really put that whole facility under quarantine, and then they have to suck it out. You understand? And to dispose of it correctly. They talking about asbestos removal, and they know it's in the city of St. Louis. They didn't mention lead. Lead is there as well. So yeah, it's gonna be it's come again. Yeah, it doesn't affect their kids or their community. So something is really insidious about that. It truly is. You talk about all the warfares, genocidal warfares, ecological warfares, but what it is a colonial warfare. It's a fight that colonialism has waged on African people and colonized people throughout this world for centuries upon centuries. Each and everything they do is tainted. Each and everything that they do is a hazard to humanity. Asbestos. So were there any, and I just wanted to bring that to attention. This is some latest nonsense that's in the news, and it's, want to play with your intelligence. That's all they're really doing, because they ain't got nothing for you. Ain't no money that came to you yet. So you got to go down there and take it, fist up and fight back. So were there any other discussions for some people who came in a little bit late? If you wanted to make a comment, can give you another 5 minutes to make a comment about some of the activities that has been going on with these roundabouts. Come on up. And we're really focusing on the lack of the town hall to provide us any real resources and your experiences.
I actually haven't been to any of the town halls. I started a new job last week, so I've been working at that time, but I just wanted to mention something. I brought a salad. It has coconut aminos in it and has a list of the other ingredients. It's a salad that you don't have to put dressing on. You don't want to mix it, so just try it without. So I just want to mention that.
All right. That was our Caribou plug.
wanted to add a little bit more to, what was talked about at the town hall. So before the tornado, back in January, they were trying to allocate this, $86 million in RAM funds. So they were trying to allocate that money. They only had $40 million allocated to the whole north side. Where they were allocated $30 million to the American Center alone. They only have concerts there every now and again. Other than that, that building sits there and doesn't do anything. Doesn't make any money, costs us money, we're spending money. So that just, I wanted to point that out because they already were neglecting again the north side of St. Louis.
Already doing.
$40 million wouldn't have done anything but covered up the potholes and the sinkholes that are already potholing and sinkhole. We have to, or it's 200 and something.
It was 294.
So we need to be very vigilant when asking for that grants money because we deserve it all.
All of it.
Now, when we ask for that money, it needs to not be for tornado relief because I go to the automatic meetings. And I said this at the last town meeting. The first automatic meeting I went to, they were still talking about speed bumps. Now we're talking about the Tuesday after a tornado.
Speed humps.
Speed bumps.
Right.
And at this time, all of our houses are on the ground. We don't need speed bumps. The rules are the speed bumps. So, with that being said, discussion was had at that automatic meeting about number one. They had the assessor in there and they said they had the bill in where the assessor's supposed to come by and assess the property at a lower value because that's according to the assessor's job, that's his job. If you know the building is damaged, why do you then need a bill to tell you to go do your job if that's neither here nor there? That's just me asking questions. So the older woman from the first ward, which is the Central West End, says, well, what are we gonna do? Because the north side's not gonna be able to pay, they're paying less taxes right now. So how long are you gonna let them get away with paying less tax on that building? And I asked her, well, how long have I been paying taxes on the north side when the south side is the only, and the Central West End is the only side that didn't. So then they also asked about if you look at FEMA and all that, it talks about trade winds and all these other craps and floods and stuff that we didn't experience. That's because on the south side, winds knocked over trees, not a tornado, but winds. Their basements flooded. So they're accessing FEMA money that could be allocated towards actual tornado victims for basements that could have already been backed up. Could have been that MSD drilled wrong and their basements are backing up, but now they're accessing money from a national disaster to fix their problem when they can't fix that. So when we ask for this money, we need to not ask for it as tornado relief, but as for development for the north and west side of the city. And again, I'm not trying to harp on that, but it's very important that what we ask for is specific. Because they are always right behind us trying to find a loophole to try to get that money allocated elsewhere.
Don't they?
I'm displaced on the south side. I'm staying with my daughter. She lives over on Magnolia and Grant. And it's beautiful. I can go have pizza and wings at a nice little, there's a Home Depot around the corner. And I have none of that on the north side. And I wanna be able to eat on the sidewalks of our street.
Okay.
I want our children to Another thing that Jesse pointed out at that town hall meeting that I'm so glad that he did is that the police in Kara Spencer took pride in arresting people fighting. Yes. I called the police and they never showed up. They had me wait at the area for hours and then called me back 4 hours later and said, no, we're just gonna take it over.
Hmm.
Real life stuff is happening
Yeah.
and our police don't show up for us. Kara Spencer has said nothing about what the Cardinals should be paying,
Mhm.
what the Blues should be paying, what the soccer team should be paying. They bragged about raising $150,000 for tornado relief. That's not even equivalent to one home. That's not a brag.
Right.
So had the Cardinals and the Blues and the soccer team and all of the other businesses that they invade pay the taxes that they ask me to up every time I go to the polls, we wouldn't have this situation because there would be plenty of money and the city would be, in her words, flush
Yeah.
with cash. So we need to be, we need to be very vigilant on making sure that when we're asking, we're specific. We are going in with a plan, and we need to do it as multiple communities, the north side, the west side. Everybody needs to have their own individual neighborhood meetings, but come together monthly or bi-monthly or whatever it needs to be. So that when we go in, we're going in as a united front. And that we're able to access these funds, because I'm telling you, if nobody ever told you, the only thing they're doing right now is biding the time to not give you.
That's all they do, yeah.
A lot of these buildings could have been saved. The building I was in just needed roof and brickwork, 30, 40, 50 grand, I would have been done. But now, the building that I was staying in is a 2-family flat. It has extensive mold in it. The ceiling has fell in, it's been warped. With all of these storms after the fact, it's blown a couple of tarps off, so tarps aren't helping. She need to unask the money now.
She need to, what you said,
I ain't trying to cuss, but that's.
well, you made it plain. And you mentioned, right, and you mentioned earlier how Clayco has gotten involved. Bob Clark is the owner of Clayco, and we know that Bob Clark donated $111,000 plus to her campaign, so she's bought off. And so whatever you see that Clayco is doing, it's a part of the agenda and the plan. And so he is in lock, stock, and barrel with Paul McKee as well. And he is also connected to amassing land near the NGA and to bring it further this way and to take us to the Mississippi River. So that's their plan. Okay, so next up, I want to appreciate all that discussion. And I think that, and I know that the community is always lifting their voice here in these particular meetings, and they're getting out of these meetings and participating in the movement, what they're not getting from City Hall. That's why we got this, what I call the revolutionary town hall meetings. So that's what it's about. So moving the agenda forward to go ahead and move through. I just want to appreciate everything thus far. And I'm going to, and at this time, we're going to bring up the president of NENA, Christopher Gladney, who is going to give us some brief updates and talk a little bit about some of the activities that they're about to get involved with. And Uhuru.
Here that the that
Okay.
campaign.
Where is it?
Right there. Okay.
It's moving parts. Oh, yeah. Oh. Thank you. Maybe not. Okay. Moving part, there we go. Here, just hang it over. There we go. All right. Okay. Oh, all right. All right.
Kind of black.
All right, Uhuru. So, as you can see, our main campaign is to build the community block party that's going to be happening on Saturday, August 2nd from 11 to 4 p.m. And so we need all hands on deck for this one. And we need all the residents, individuals, community organizations, and Uhuru movement organizations to roll up our sleeves and get busy. So next slide. So our goals is this block party is a part of a fight back for the African community, demanding the city bring massive resources to the devastated neighborhoods before and after the tornado. So one, we want to bring the Northside community together for a day of music, free food, giveaways, prizes, information and resources, children's activities and games, celebration of the unity in the Northside community through the tornado relief and bringing needed resources and information on further relief. The second goal is to build and promote the leadership of Nina and the Black Power Blueprint as breaking down the false divisions and uniting the neighborhoods to build African self-determination. And Nina is calling for a total change of the policy of the city of St. Louis from a public policy of police containment to a public policy of economic development to the Northside African community. And our last goal is to build stronger relationships with neighborhood organizations and residents. And we want to sign up 50 to 100 people and recruit a minimum of 25 new NINA members from our booth that we will have. Next slide. So our next block party planning meeting is happening this Tuesday, July 15th, right here at 5 p.m. And we want to know who can attend. Can I get a show of hands of who can attend this meeting? Can someone record 4 feet, you're one, Ikenge, and what's your name, brother? Lloyd, Lonnie, who else? Tina. No, it's in person. Yes. Yes, okay, we got, yeah, keep your hands up. Okay. Okay, we got Maureen, we got Allie, we got Angelica, we got Penny, we have Ruby, Kitty, Jesse. What's your name? Amanda. Who else? His hand was raised. All right. So right on. Oh, I'll get to that in just a second.
No, who's writing your name?
Oh,
It's
she got it. Allie got it. Allie's also our secretary for Nina. Okay, so next slide. Okay, so our outreach plan is to focus outreach on the north side to include O'Fallon, College Hill, Fairground, Penrose, and Greaterville. The south side outreach is underway. So far we've had Cherokee, South Grand Boulevard, Central West End, and we need to add the Del Mar Loop to this as well. Our immediate goal is to poster at the stores that are listed, and you'll see that in just a second, and poster on poles in a 2-block radius around the store. So we can go to the next slide. Okay, so we have routes for stores and poles. Again, 2-block radius from the store. So the first route is M1 Food Market at 4600 Pope. We have New Carey's Corner Market at 4500 Athlone. We have outside pole outside the Uhuru House. And we have Yeatman Market at 4401 Athlone Avenue. So what team can do the first route?
How many on the team?
It could be 2 or 3.
What do the teams do again?
They're going to go to different stores with our posters and leaflets.
Are they good? They're going dropped, right?
Yeah, they'll go to a store and they can either or both leave a poster, tape it in the window or put it on the counter, or they can leave like 10 or 12 leaflets on the counter at that particular place. So who can take on the first route?
And that would be when?
Now we'll be starting right away, like this evening or tomorrow, but right away. This is you'll do the first one, all right, and
Is that M1 food market, or are you asking people to do for number one? Do all
those
of
stores, those stores,
those-
yes. And that's a lot. What's your name again, brother? Lloyd. Okay, so Lloyd will do the first route number one.
How many flyers you get?
We'll give you a stack of about, I say 50. Because you leave about, if you do 4 stores, you have at least 10 that you can leave at a store. And then we'll give you some posters as well. And the second route will be Yeatman Market 2, and that's at 4300 Lee. Yeatman. Okay. I never knew how to pronounce it, so. Okay, then we have Wash and Wear Laundry at 4115 North Grand. King's Corner Store at 4501 Margaretta. And then we have the St. Louis Public Library over here at 4234 North Grand. Who can do route number 2? I'll do route number 2. Put me down. And then we have the third route, which is, let's see, something happened here. Okay, 4415 Natural Bridge. What we have is Dr. Fresh Snacks. That's at 4215 Natural Bridge. Ari's Ice Cream Parlor and Cafe at 5572 Natural Bridge. And Euclid Market at 2318 North Euclid Avenue. Who can do? All right. Gregory can do route number 3, right on. Route number 4, we have MLK Tire at 4101 MLK Drive. We have Jaden's Diner at 4251 MLK.
I'll do that.
All right, so you'll do route number 4, right on. And route number 5, we have the St. Louis Public Library, the Bar Branch, and then we at 1701 South Jefferson, and then we have the Public Library downtown at 1301 Olive. Who can do route number 5? Right on. Right on, Tina. Thank you so much. And the last route is LD's Coffee Shop at Grand and Page. Across the way, we got Fat Burgers in the mall across the street. And then we have the bus station based right there at Grand and Page. Who can do route 6? Right on. James. Right on, James. Thank you so much. And again, you can leave a stack of flyers at the counter. You can leave about 10 or 12 on the counter. Put up a poster in the window, on the door, or wherever they say they, you can put the poster up. And then, you can also put one outside the store if they say it's okay. But we want to get those posters up all over. All right, so we want to go to the next slide. So now we want to do polls. I know we got a series of telephone polls and other polls at various intersections. So the first route for the polls is on West Florissant from Pope Avenue to John Avenue. Who can take that poster route on? So this figure Pope Avenue down here on West Florissant and just come all the way down to John, hitting the polls. All right, right on. Thank you so much. Okay, the second route would be Pope Avenue from West Florissant to Natural Bridge. Who can take that one on? All right, we'll come back to that. Let me give you the third route here. That's North Grand from West Florissant to Kossuth. Okay, put me down for that one.
For number 3.
Yep, for number 3. And then we have Van Deventer from Natural Bridge to MLK.
I'll take that.
Right on. All right, Fofi, thank you so much for that. Right on. And, we just want to continuously get this information out in people's hands. If you know of any other places to go to, like if there's a community meeting somewhere, take those leaflets there. We want to flood the community with this information. It's just crucially important. We're not just doing block party for block party's sake. We really want to celebrate the will and the tenacity of the African community that hasn't, has had to endure it even before the tornado, the horrible conditions, exacerbated by the city government. And we want to be able to show the community we give a damn, So this is so crucially important. Okay, next slide. So we really need people to volunteer. Yes, Angelica. Delmar Loop. Angelica can do the Delmar Loop. Right on. Guru. So we need people to sign up to vend, or if you know of any other vendors that would like to register, please let them know. We need people to get up signs, get sign-ups for the community resource and info tables, because we really want to have information for the people, useful information for the people. We want to sign up and get people to sign up and volunteer at the block party itself, because we're going to need people to help elders and children cross the street. And just to say real quick, we're going to have the children's circle across the street over at Karen's property there. So we want to be able to have people that can help people cross the street, make sure the children are safe, make sure our elders are safe. Then we're going to have Karibu opened up for the info vendors. We'll also have entertainment and music at the stage. And then, of course, we got the okay to get the permit to block off Alice. So we'll be, handling that, on Monday. So we're going to have this blocked off going towards Grant. So we'll have more booths. We'll probably have some booths here. I'm going from Athlon on down to, just past Karibu. So we want to have a lot of vendors, but we definitely want to have a lot of good, helpful information for the community. Because even though at August 2nd, it's still going to be people that need help. So we need crossing assistance, as I said before. Now, we need people to join the team. We have vendors, the program. We're going to have basketball game, pickup games over at the basketball court. We have outreach, food, the children's circle, and logistics. So this is what we want to be able to, have people sign up for the meeting on Tuesday. It's really, really important to get that going in the best possible way. Oh, that's for something else. Yep. Okay. So just to let you know, next slide. We'll have the next membership meeting for NINA coming up on July 29th, Tuesday, July 29th at 6 p.m. right here. And, we hope this will be the last meeting. And it'll be like, 3 days before the actual event, the actual block party on August 2nd. So we want everybody to be at this meeting on the 26th, because we want to make sure that everything's shored up and all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, because we want to have a very successful block party and show that NINA is there for the community, but also show that the community has organization that got its back, so I just wanted to put that on the word. Yeah.
Couple of visitors had asked, how much of the vendor fees?
Okay, the vending fees for food vendors would be 40. And the non-food vendors would be 20. And I believe that the information info vendors would be free. So. And someone else had a question? Yes.
If someone has not posted or given out, what materials do they need to put with the posters, to put them up?
Well, you're definitely gonna need some tape. If you have a staple gun, because you might have some telephone poles that you can staple those posters to. So you'll need to have a staple gun, or you can tape it around too. But definitely have plenty of tape with you, the wide, clear tape. Have plenty of tape, staple gun, staples, if you got it. And also you can get that thin tape too for the stores. You know, if they say you can post it on the window, then you can just put that poster on there and stick the corners. Yeah.
Double-sided tape, I did $1.03. And that way you can put.
Yeah.
You know,
Can you say it
posters on one window.
into the microphone?
Inside and outside.
Yeah, what Sophia was saying, and that's true too. We can use the double-sided tape that you can get at the Dollar Tree or whatever dollar store they got, and just stick it on the back of the poster, and well, actually on the front of the poster. If you're sticking it on the window, you can stick it on the front of the poster and put it out there so people can see it.
Are people gonna get their flyers and posters or whatever today?
Yes.
What's the process? What do they do? Should they come up to you? You're gonna go to them? How are we gonna organize to be able to make sure that everyone that's got materials or gets them before they leave? We don't wanna skip anybody.
Right.
People have been just so excellent at, putting themselves forward. And this is really important for this entire community. So we want to make sure everybody gets everything they need and make sure we have people's contact information so that, we can follow up with them if they run into any problems, have any issues. And the only other thing that I would suggest is that people not undertake this necessarily by yourself. Find somebody that can go with you. If not,
Definitely.
call us, say, hey, I really want to get my route done. I don't have anybody to go with me. I'm ready now or whatever, so that we can try to match people up, get somebody to come with you. Uhuru.
Uhuru.
Everybody
Appreciate that
supporting
intervention and
but just in
Yeah.
case.
yeah, appreciate that. And you can see myself or Allie. We can get you the posters and the leaflets, and that way you can leave here with information. You're armed and you're ready to hit it.
Allie, could you raise your hand so people know who you are? Best anybody
Sophie?
who doesn't know this.
On the red table, so as people go out, we'll make sure everything gets.
Uhuru.
Is there a specific due time or date that these need to be completed?
We need to get these out. Let's see, what's today? Today is the 13th. We need to have this in a week, 7 days. We need to have a lot of outreach done in 7 days. So 7 days from this time is what? The 18th. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
So yes, it's important that we get this word out and, get these vendors and have this party going in a good way. It can
One more thing, I was asked, is it, can people come back next Sunday and maybe kind of say what their
Yes, please do.
their progress was? If you weren't able to get everything out, or you got into 5 stores or 10 polls or whatever, so that we can also, get some feedback from, what you're experiencing or whatever out there as well. I think that's helpful. So
Yes.
everybody plan on being here next Sunday.
And also too, if you signed in and you don't have a phone number, please put your phone number on the sign-in sheet, because we want to definitely be able to contact you and you contact us as well. So yes. Alec.
We'll have all the materials that people need to think out. The flyers on Tuesday at the meeting, the tape and the staples and stuff like that, if you don't have any, it's
Okay. Fantastic.
Yes.
So say that over the thing, so very.
Okay, said on Tuesday, for the Tuesday meeting, we will have more leaflets and posters, and we'll have tape and staple guns and things like that for people to take with them so that they can do the outreach.
And the meeting will be here, what time is it?
Meeting will be here at 5 p.m. this Tuesday. And if you're not able to be here in person, or if you're gonna bring somebody, if they're not able to come, let us know that you can assist. Because we need again, this is all hands on deck. We need everybody to, make this happen, make this outreach happen. All right. Well, Uhuru, everybody.
Uhuru comrades, we have had a very, very wonderful, fruitful, and full of knowledge program today. I would say, yeah, we've been planting seeds and we're watching them sprout. I am here to tell you now is the time that each and every one of you can be a member of do your part in this wonderful organization. Why are you laughing? It's our time for our goal today. Comrade,
Membership first.
I'm doing membership first.
I don't know, because that's what's on the screen.
Okay, we're doing membership first. If you want to be a part of this organization so your voice can be heard and your decisions can be taken seriously when it comes to what you want to do or what you see need to be done in your community, then you can become a member of the International People Democratic Uhuru Movement. This is in the Uhuru Movement base grassroots organization, and we meet everybody on whatever level you're on. You can get political education. You will get to learn how we operate as a organization. You will get taught by the best. That's the best way I can say it, taught by the best. As a basic level member, it is $25 a year. And that is $25 a year from the day you sign up. Not at our beginning year, but from the day you sign up, it's $25. For the Musa Abantu level or InPDUM membership, it is $10. And this is for annual membership for students and unemployed personnel. It is $10, and your membership counts the same as the $25 membership. Your voice is no less, and your ideas are not meaningless, okay? Last, we have a George Jackson Desi Wood level, which is $5 a month for our annually for our incarcerated brothers and sisters, and that's a damn shame. We gotta say brothers and sisters, period. Like we said in the PE this morning, free them all.
Free 'em all.
Free them all.
Free 'em.
Okay. And before they get free, you need to make sure that they got power in their hands with a membership and a paper, because the paper will let them know what's going on out here in this world. Okay, it's gonna be different than when they went in, so they need to know what's happening while they are in. Okay. Membership is easy. We can take it today. All right. You can become a member. In a couple of days, you get your card, you get your welcome letter, and you will also get the voice that you've been trying to get people to listen to, but nobody would listen to you. It's like a fist, a finger, you won't hurt nobody. A fist, you can leave a bruise. Okay. So even this little skinny fist. Okay, that's InPDUM membership. And is there anybody that is interested in becoming an InPDUM member today? Yes, we do. And we got orientation right there with food in the back. So it is not that difficult. to become a member. Now, our resource call today is $150. Now, where that money goes, you feel the cool, you feel the heat, you see the light, you got internet. These are the things that our resources go to. It is not in anybody's pocket but the people that we have to pay to keep this place moving. It's the flyers you get, it's the information we get out to the community. That takes resources. So you can pay it by check, cash, and money order in the basket. You can pay at Cash App, $ InPDUM, or you can go to InPDUM.org/donate. If you go to Cash App or donate, let us know so we can count your money with the total. Our total today, even online, people, it is $150. And every dollar you put in is $1 of freedom that you're looking for. Because you know what? We have to free ourselves. We didn't get in this by ourselves, but I'm gonna tell you, I'd be damned if we don't get out. Okay, we gonna get out kicking and screaming. And when nobody is free unless everybody is free, they gonna be free if they kicking and screaming.
Yeah.
But you know what? Sometimes good things that are for us don't feel good to us until we realize what it is. All right, and that's revolution. I don't know what else I can tell you except we doing good work. We doing good work, and it's not just me or Kumba or Ikenge or Ciali. It's all of us. All of us. All right, all of us. Yes, yes, yes. And I want to thank Solidarity for being present, because revolution is for all of us. Okay? Whatever you have in mind, our liberation comes first. Because when we're free, everybody's free. They started with us, but we're gonna end it with them. Okay? Uhuru, I will come back and let you know our total. Kumba? Oh,
Can you put the donate information back up again, InPDUM.org, right?
put the donation information back up, Conrad. Yes, here we go. I didn't know.
That's yeah, so. Okay, then, want to appreciate all that discussion and the outreach plan that Conrad Ciali put together. That's going to be some dynamic work. So next up, we have our announcements for the upcoming week, rest of the. So Conrad Sophia wanted to address this particular. With the One Africa, One Nation Marketplace, that's going to be every month for the summer, and it ends in October.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so the next market is coming up pretty soon. It's July 26th. We're still looking for vendors and we're looking for volunteers to help with that And then we have other remaining dates as well. We do need volunteers for all of the dates, and we need vendors for all of the dates still. If you can go to the next slide. So the areas that we need volunteers in include loading the U-Haul truck on the Fridays beforehand so that we can have everything that we need, and then we can unload. So do we have anybody here that's able to help with the loading of the U-Haul truck on those Fridays before the markets?
Are you talking about the
Okay.
26th or just indefinite?
For the remainder of the market. Okay, so we got Lonnie for loading the U-Haul truck. Hey. And then we'll in 4 feet.
What time?
It'll be based off of what time is best for you, but we have to be there before. Well, we can pick up the truck, and then we can arrange times after that. What's going to be best for your schedule? I know that's a couple of weeks out, so we can get that arranged too. And then we need someone to man the registration table. I know Sister Carol. I'll talk with her about that just in case if we need somebody to back up with her on that. We can kind of work that out. Someone to man the produce table. Is anybody available for that? And that's where we'll just be giving out the produce that we picked from the various gardens as well as from the Gary Brooks garden. Do we have anybody available for that? Okay, not just yet. And then the decolonase table, we need someone to man that table as well. That's the products that Anvil sells to bring in revenue, but it's also products. And just in case you don't know, you can get those products for your own hair, your skincare routine, facial scrubs, and different things there. Do we have anybody that's able to do that? Okay. And so then the next one, we'll need someone to do the setup on the day of. Set up the tables and tents and the displays and all of that, and then break down and return to storage. So do we have anybody available for setup? We usually start setting up at around 8:30, 9 o'clock, and we have to be finished by 10.
And this is the day of what?
These are the days of the One Africa, One Nation Farmers Market. Is one where yeah, July 26th is the next market that we have, and then we have it's once a month and through October.
Yeah, I can do the produce table.
Okay. And what is your name again?
Lloyd.
Lloyd, okay. Okay, and then, so nobody for setup and breakdown just yet?
I hope so.
Breakdown, and your name?
Casey.
Casey, okay. Oh, okay, I need to see you. And then pick up, and I'll be helping with the breakdown and all of that as well. And then we need people who are available the week, probably at Thursday, between Thursday and Friday of each of those markets, to go to our sister farms to pick up produce or pick produce from their farms to be able to give out as well to the community. Case. It'll kind of be on your schedule, but I would prefer that we did it as a team. So we would work that schedule out with the farmers at that time. So based off of your schedule.
You mean schedule as a date, or but I'm looking for the time.
Right, it would be based on your time. So if you're able to go earlier in the morning or up to, certain times at night, but that would be something depending on when those markets are open. I'll get better times on those. But it should be, you would just have to coordinate with them, let them know when you're coming.
Yeah, I'd like to participate in that, but I don't have my full schedule yet.
Okay, and as we get closer, we can talk about that as well. Okay, and then, oh, and one last thing that we needed to is if anybody that is doing the distributions, if you're interested, because we still have about 400 of those One Africa, One Nation posters that we're trying to get put up throughout the community for the remainder of the market. So we have a bunch of those in the back. If anybody is able to put those up in the areas that they're, if there are areas that you frequent a lot and you know people in those areas would be interested in those markets, we do have posters here as well. So are there anybody available for picking up posters to get those posted as well? What was your name again? Tina. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay, and I'll get those to you before you all leave. Are you all staying for Karamu?
Y'all have to stay careful.
Yeah, I have to, because the food gotta be gone. We ain't letting nobody leave out the door until it's gone. Okay, so that's it for the One Africa, One Nation Farmers Market. Then we have the Burning Spears. You want to make sure you get your copies today. We should have copies in the back today, right?
You need to look at the current.
Okay, we got the current issues. They're $1, so you can kind of see a lot of the work that we're doing, not just here in St. Louis, but throughout our entire InPDUM. They're these here. You can get your own subscription where they come to you in the mail, or you can get them via email. This is one of is it the oldest publication that's still being published today?
It's the oldest Black revolutionary publication.
Oldest Black revolutionary published paper that's still ongoing. I don't think there has been any interruptions in the publications of them.
That's since 1968.
There you go. So it's still going, so you know it gotta be good to last that long. You get all of your information, what's going on the continent and in other areas that are affecting people just like us, Black people. You can get your copy. I think subscriptions are $45 for a year. And then you can also get bundles where you can sell those as well. And then I think you get 50 in a bundle. So that's something that you may be interested in as well. If you know people who have businesses that would want to give out this type of information, because we do need to start getting this information out, because in order to do the type of things that we talked about today, we got to start organizing and getting more people involved. You can get your subscription, your bundles at theburningspear.store and your subscriptions at theburningspear.com/subscribe. And make sure if you have not read one, come back and get a copy today. We have copies here for $1. They're only $1. And then we got the InPDUM studies, where if you want to understand more about what you've heard today about the African Internationalists, the African People's Socialist Party, what all of this means, a lot of the history and overview, you can attend one of the Revolutionary Democratic program studies. They're every Thursday, 7 p.m. Central Time here. They are online. So to register, you would go to tinyurl.com/RNDP studies. Or you can watch it live on Facebook at facebook.com/InPDUM. And I believe it's also on YouTube, but I'm not for certain.
Right. On YouTube.
It's also on YouTube. And you can also go to Facebook and pull up previous episodes if you want to kind of understand and see some of the different studies, or if there are certain topics that you want to go back and review. So that's a really good study, and it's run by our president, Matsamela, who is the president of the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement at this time. And then what do we have next? We need people to help build these rallies again. If you know people that are interested in making a difference in their community, if you know people that they have skills that they want to get out and share with people, the InPDUM is a perfect place for them, because we can use you for whatever skills you have, whether you can cook, whether you can walk up the street and pass out flyers, anything basic up to advanced. If you're computer literate and can do all types of things. We need you there. So we need you to help organize, whether it's the Caramoo. We need people to help with the AV team, just so people can see us throughout the country and throughout the world as we live stream, because we probably have people right now online watching us from different countries right now. We need people to help distribute the leaflets and posters and flyers like what you see today. And as you can see, we're pretty much grassroots. We do things the way that they've been done. And we kind of revolutionize it in a way to where it's more up to date and more relevant. That's why we kind of look at what are the, like Ms. Akinge said, what worked, what didn't work. So when you come back next week to let us know what you're postering, what worked, what didn't work, then we can kind of modify it as needed. We need people to do security, just like with here, we can have people man the door, making sure that everybody here is safe. And around the Uhuru House, like when we have events, because just like with the block party, we'll need security teams there to do that type of stuff as well. And so you can build your skills, you can learn new skills if you're want to be a part of this organization. So make sure if you come across people, just think about the things you've heard and seen, and as you're talking to people and you realize they would be a good fit, mention it to them and invite them out to a meeting. Now it's Caramoo time. Caramoo, you got to tell me again. Caramoo, I always say feast means feast. I always say gathering or communion. I look at it as similar to gathering to eat, but feast. So we'll be feasting together, and each week we'll have something available before you leave if you'd like. And this week it is pasta, which you have either a choice of a hot or a cold pasta. We also have salads and fruit. The peaches, somebody wanted to know where the peaches came from. So did you have for next week? Next week. I have no idea. Oh. And so did anybody have any suggestions for what we would like to have for next week? Because I try to base it off of the weather, and today just threw me off because I was thinking it was going to still be one of those hot, steamy days. But we can go back to Mexican. We can go back to Italian. I know y'all probably getting tired of pasta. We can do salad.
Yeah, we'll come up with them.
Okay. And I'll be reaching out to find out what you're able to bring.
Last but not least, I want to thank everybody for their dollars, and our total was $150, but we collected $213. Woo! We want some freedom around here, y'all. Liberation is in the air. When you get it, enjoy it, because it's coming. Uhuru. Oh, I want to say Saturday is an outreach at Missouri History Museum. We'll be there at 4 o'clock. See me if you're interested in being a part of that outreach, okay? All right.
I see.